Hi, everyone. This is Kayla Hernandez, Independent Family Director with Scentsy Family. And I am so excited that you are a part of our Become a Consultant Opportunity Night. So I just wanted to shoot you a little video and tell you a little bit about my story. I started selling Scentsy a little over 3 years ago. I was not the very first people to start selling. There were already thousands, 100, 200,000 consultants. So I definitely was not the first one in. I had a little girl who was 3 years old. She just turned 3 in September. I started in January. She just turned 3. I was a young mom. Um, at the time, I was 20 years old, so not even legal to drink. And I had a husband, and I worked a job that I worked long hours. I was there probably 50 hours a week, so I was away from my little girl quite a bit. I started seeing a lot of posts on Facebook from my friends about this thing called Scentsy. I didn't have a clue what it was. I didn't know what it was. I'd never tried it. Now, I was the candle woman. I had candles all over my house, in the kitchen, everywhere. Like anywhere you could put a candle, I had one. Um, so this really caught my interest when I seen my friends and family posting some stuff about this product called Scentsy. So I started doing a lot of research, and I had this hope of, well, maybe I could do this. Now, I had sold for other direct sales companies, and I don't want to say failed miserably, but I just didn't have that passion, and I didn't love it. It wasn't something that I used every day. It wasn't something that I was passionate and loved. So I didn't do very well with it. With Scentsy, when I started, um, I was broke. I was poor. I don't want to say I was poor, but we were the family living paycheck to paycheck. Um, and I was really stingy with my money. I didn't want to tell my husband I wanted to do this because he'd be like, oh, you're going to fail at it again. You know, it's a waste of money and all of that. So I asked my mom to borrow the money, and she let me borrow it, and she paid for my starter kit. And I really didn't do much with it at first. When I first started, my first goal was to sell $500 so that I could get that money back to my mom. Um, and to this day, I still haven't paid her back, but I've made that money back. She wouldn't take my money back, but I've given her lots of Scentsy to compensate her for that. So I wanted to make that $500. I did that. I earned Sensational Start, which was one of our awards when you first start that you're able to earn. Um, but I had this dream and I had this hope that maybe if I worked at this hard, that I could stay home with my little girl, and I wouldn't have to work and leave her with the daycare provider and pay all this astronomical amount of money for daycare. Um, so fast forward a year, I still hadn't done very much with Scentsy. And that following July, so July 2013, I went to my very first Scentsy family reunion in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was beyond inspired. They showed us a incentive trip that they were going to have for the following year, and I left there and I said, I'm going to earn that. Now, in the back of my head, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This seems really hard. But I connected with my sponsor who lives halfway around the world from me. I joined her because she knew what she was doing, and I'm so glad I did because she taught me so much. Um, and so I'm really thankful for that. And I think I would not be the leader that I am. I would not be in the place that I am if I had not chose someone that actually knew what they were doing rather than someone that lived locally to me or a friend. So if you have a friend that's really good at what they're doing, you know, that's great. But don't choose. You need to choose a sponsor who's going to be there for the ways that you want them to be. And my sponsor did that for me. So I thank you, Wendy. Thanks. So I earned that trip, and my business started to soar. We got our 1099s yesterday, and in 2014, my increase of commission was 439% from the year before. So that is really good. That is a great increase. I mean, Scentsy is still growing at a very fast rate. So I don't know where I was going with this. So, anyways, what I'm saying is, February of 2014, I was able to leave my full-time job, stay home with my kids because now I have two. And if you remember that little girl, September 2013, shortly after I started really working my business, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, juvenile diabetes. So it was even more important for me to be able to work my business so that I could stay home. So February of 2014, I was able to do that. I went on our first incentive trip to the Bahamas in the Atlantis Resort in June. 2 weeks ago, we just came back from Cancun from Scentsy, so that was really amazing. We have now earned our third trip, and we're going to be going on a 7-day Caribbean cruise from Puerto Rico, going to St. Lucia, and going to like 5 different islands. So that's our third trip. We're really excited. We're getting ready to take a trip to New Zealand because Scentsy's launching in New Zealand in March of 2015. So I'm planning a trip to come there. So if you know anyone, if you have any friends or family, or if you are in New Zealand and you're interested, just let me know. I will have some contact information below this. Subscribe to my channel so you can see all my updates. I'll be shooting videos over in New Zealand and on my trips. So thanks for watching, and I'm so excited to have you again for our Become a Consultant Opportunity Night. And if you have any questions in the Facebook event, just go ahead and post those. There are people that will be scared to ask questions, so don't be afraid because you might help someone else. Thanks, guys. Bye.